Since Universal released what could be their last preview video where they showed the details for the Wizarding World Ministry of Magic, myself and many others have been wondering, will Universal let us know about any other details about different aspects of Epic Universe before the park opens? And really, obviously, we're waiting for some sort of announcement about when this park will open. But it seems that Universal is actually releasing more details now, not in the big headline way that they've done with these videos before. But what it looks like they're doing now is releasing episodes of their podcast, which is called Inside Universal. And on different episodes of the podcast, they're having people that worked in Epic Universe about different projects, rides, attractions, etc., come on the show and give details about them. We saw this when they had some people come on talking about Celestial Park, and they just had an episode drop today talking about the two hotels that sit outside Epic Universe, the Stella Nova and the Terra Luna resorts. So I figure let's watch this and see if there's any interesting tidbits that we can get out of this. What I'm going to do is watch this, and then I will cut in interesting points so you don't sit here and watch the entire episode. But the interesting points we'll check out here. So let's do that. So before we get going there, hi, I'm Jared with Capture the Magic, and we're going to get into this episode right here.
I know everyone's been eagerly awaiting all of this content.
We have so much to cover in this new season.
And we're excited to jump right in.
So it seems like they're saying this new season, I'm guessing all of these episodes are just going to be about stuff about coming to Epic Universe. So I'm on board again. I like this idea.
I'm Cassie.
I'm Dylan.
And welcome to the Discover Universal podcast. And Dylan, I love our parks here, but you know what else I really, really love?
Can I take one guess?
Go ahead.
Or can I take two guesses?
Go ahead.
Hotels.
Yes.
And hotels.
Yep, that
we're
is
talking
right.
about two.
I mean, the dialogue is a little cringy, but...
No, my name is Russ Dagan. I'm Senior Vice President of Resort Development here at Universal Creative, working on all hotels and attractions.
And I'm Jessica Iaconis. I'm the Assistant Director of Facility Design for the hotel team with Universal Creative.
Awesome. And you both have been with the company for a little bit, right?
Quite a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, 13 years for me.
Yeah, a little north of 20 for me.
Well, we have two resorts we're talking about today. Can you both tell us a little bit about the backstory and theming and inspiration behind those two resorts?
Yeah, so we are talking about Universal Stella Nova Resort and Universal Terra Luna Resort. They're loosely tied to our Epic Universe park that's opening up. That is a little more deep into kind of the cosmos, but here we're just thinking about the awe and wonder of space. And Stella Nova Resort, we're focusing on kind of all the celestial beings in the universe, and we're focusing more on terrestrial planetary imagery and terrain for Terra Luna Resort.
So, I mean, it's not a surprise here, and I don't know how much information, like new info they're going to have on this, but they're sister resorts. They're much in the like, again, think about Dockside and Surfside Universal Resorts. It's basically like they're very, very similar hotels with very, very similar concepts, but just slight differences between the two.
What's the pool like? Because I got to know.
Yeah, I think, I mean, all of our properties, that's one of the things that we really pride ourselves on. Every one of our properties has an amazing pool. And we recognize that a significant number of our guests, when they visit Florida, that's going to be the focus. So the pools are relatively simple.
I don't know if this is a new concept, but I feel like this is new. But it's already, I mean, again, this pool looks very similar to what we've seen with, I mean, it looks pretty identical. Well, I would say identical. You do have some, it looks like a kiddie pool area over here with a little walking area, but very similar to Surfside and Dockside. No slide, anything like that, but got lots of lounge chairs, and this looks like zero entry. Probably doesn't go very deep, so.
But beautiful resort style pools. So there's no...
Okay, this looks like these are different ones. So again, very similar still pool. You got your bar over here. This is the lobby area here. So
I wouldn't say there's any real space inspiration for our pools. It's straightforward, forward Florida.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Which I'm not surprised by that, but the pool area is just like you said, it's Florida. They're not doing a space theme with the pool. So that, I mean, it'd kind of be hard to do a space theme with the pool, I suppose. So that's not too surprising. I mean, a pool is just a pool.
We usually poll our guests what they want, you know, in their resorts, and it's always beach themed, right? So we've come up with a lot of different beach themes.
Now, I will say, she said they poll their guests to see about things they want. This is very true. Now, this is one of the things that I have said for a while that I really like about Universal, but I get these emails and like I I don't know what you would call it. I'm part of this survey thing that they send. They ask you, like in the park sometimes, to sign up. And that's what I did. I think my wife's on it too. And they will send you surveys, very in depth, asking you a lot of different questions about. You can kind of see what they're thinking about doing. And so they do send these out quite a bit of asking, like, hey, and sometimes you don't know what they're asking, but many times you do. And so when they say that they do poll people, like they do, and they do try and figure out what people want. And I think they take that information and just try to give people what they want, which, again, I know it sounds simple, but it's kind of a wild concept, but it does tend to work. I like it.
Over the years. So I don't know. Now we have Space Beach. No, I'm just
No, but it's always the thing too. When you visit Florida as a kid, I grew up in Wisconsin, and when you came to Florida, it was a real novelty to see a palm tree. So you have to do that. There's no way out. You have to have palm trees.
That was one thing I found really interesting when we got to visit, was the idea of how this whole thing was
These people have been inside.
Number one, how dare you?
Constellation, space themed, if you will, and then you can go outside, and then you're back at a great Florida resort, which is really, really cool. I thought that was the juxtaposition of that was really awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, speaking of exterior, being outside, we got to see the amazing tiles up close, which I feel like Dylan and I have driven past the resort so many times. And we're like, we have to get up close to this and see this. So can you all tell us a little bit about the tiles outside? I mean, just the story of how they're constructed and put together is so fascinating.
How did we find them in the first place? Do you remember?
Yeah, we had a concept architect that brought them kind of to the table. We knew we wanted some sort of celestial imagery kind of happening on the exterior of the building, and we looked at a lot of different ways to achieve that, and then we saw these tiles, and we knew that was it. That was the answer.
But the tiles are absolutely remarkable, and there's 144,000 on each hotel.
That's a lot of tiles. 144,000 in each hotel.
Okay. Each one laid up by hand.
One by one.
Yeah, so that was one of our our biggest concerns during the development process was, okay, we got to hit stride with this process, because if we lag, our first day we put up 9 and we all got a little scared.
It was supposed to be like 800, and we're like, oh boy.
No. Because when we walked up, the colors of those tiles were crazy. How do you achieve those colors in general?
Yeah, so
how does that work?
they all start as one stainless steel shingle, and then they go through an acid bath, and so that turns them into this dichroic panel. And so each one is left in for maybe 10 seconds more than another one, and then it's a little bit darker. Some of them are left in, a few minutes, so they change from blue to purple at that point.
So that is one thing to know, and I think a lot of people had questions about this. Is they're not they don't change color, like there's not a light on them. They're stainless steel that are dyed to look different colors, so they shimmer off of light given to them. But I do think, I remember there is wiring. Looking at the construction photos, there's wiring that was rumored to be give an effect of looking like a comet or something, or like a shimmering effect on the hotel. But the tiles, most of the tiles themselves are just stainless steel. They're not like LCD lights or anything like that.
So it's really cool. They all start out exactly the same.
Yeah.
And then through this acid wash process, they turn into the dichroic panels that you see.
Okay, so during our walkthrough, you shared that there are 3-meal quick service restaurants at both Terra Resort as well as Stella Nova Resort. Can you tell us more about those food offerings?
Yeah, so both resorts have a 3-meal, so you can have your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They all have a grab-and-go.
I don't know if this is a new concept art at all, but this looks this is pretty similar if you've been over to Dockside and Surfside of what those look like.
Market. So if you're on your way out to the park early in the morning, you just kind of grab your breakfast.
Although that's it looks much smaller though. But this may just be one aspect of it. I think this is probably the grab and go they're talking about.
And they both have a lobby bar and a pool bar.
There's one of the lobby bars. Okay.
Everything else will just be like anything at Universal. Like, we have the best offerings. The chefs, I know that they'll come up with amazing, food and drink offerings. And
when we were there also, because you were talking about the lobby, that lobby is insane.
Yeah.
It is insane.
So we have no straight walls.
Yeah.
No straight walls. I don't know what that means, but okay.
Because you were saying from the outside, it's making this black hole thing. Then you're going in there and you see all these stars, right? Can you go into that a little bit?
Yeah, our porte-cochere, we call that lovingly kind of the black hole, right? We kind of suck you into the building, and there's galaxy star pattern on the top of the porte cochere. But yeah, it just kind of draws you right into the building. And then you get in there and there's all these kind of, it looks like shooting stars with our lighting that goes across. But
That's pretty cool. Okay. So they're doing this all over, it seems like Epic Universe, like shooting star elements. So that's kind of cool to hear.
there's not a single straight wall.
So cool.
It's all very organic and, I don't know. It's a lot of fun and, interesting to build.
I think one of the things that's exciting about a lot of our hotels, and you're pulled into the lobby, but then once you get in there, you have this amazing view out. So you'll see the pool area, and that's kind of key for us is the idea if you arrive with your parents, you're a little kid, you arrive with your parents, that check-in process, I mean, we don't do this intentionally, but I think it's got to be a little tough for the parents. Their kids are going to be so amped when they get there, and it's going to be, can we go to the park right away, or can we go to the pool right away? And
I love that, like, detail to design where things like this are thought about. I know you don't say to do it intentionally about making it hard on the parents, but thought is put into making sight lines where you can see the pool from the lobby and like things like that. I like hearing stuff like that. I think that's cool. I know we've seen some concept art of the lobbies, but I'm curious if any of that is changed. Knowing Universal probably hasn't, because it's been pretty consistent with what they've had.
And I'm sure there's things we could have done to make that experience a little easier on the parents, but it is the energy you're looking for, right? You just came, from wherever to Orlando, and you're staying at this amazing place, and your kids are energized from the moment you get there. Like, all right, well, I can't wait to experience this full vacation.
Yeah. And how do you get to the parks from there?
So we'll have a shuttle bus.
Okay.
Yep, and it can take you to either Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure or to Epic Universe.
Oh, that's great.
Amazing.
So they will have a shuttle that takes you to. So that was one of the questions some people had, and I was kind of curious about this. Was you're walking distance within Epic Universe, but like, will there be a shuttle that can take you actually, drop you off closer? It seems like that will be the case, and of course, if you want to go over to Islands or you want to go to the studio side, they'll take you up there as well. So that's good to know.
That's great.
Yeah.
So just direct access, and you probably get early park admission with that, right?
Yep, at any of the hotel stays.
That's cool.
It's pretty nice. Yeah, that's awesome.
It's also such a great arrival statement for the resort in general. And when you drive up, Universal Boulevard there, and you're flanked by these two properties, there's clearly, I mean, it's the largest entrance gate we've ever done. If you look at,
that's interesting. I mean, it'll probably be kind of similar if you've driven up to Surfside and Dockside, except, I mean, that's a very busy road right there, but you drive up. But they're saying, and like one's on each side, one's on the other one. But what they're saying is where, one's here, one's on the other side, and you drive between them, and then you turn into one of them. But they're saying the entrance gate is the largest one they've done. So I'm curious about that.
These two properties side by side, it's amazing.
And those exteriors.
Yeah, I feel like we saw some Easter eggs as we were walking through with you, Jessica. Some things that caught our eye, especially like the windows in the rooms, how rounded and beautiful they are. Are there any other Easter eggs that the two of you are excited for guests to experience?
I mean, I think that just speaking again in the exteriors, we talked about there being lights. There's some panels that are left that stainless steel, and then we've put the lights on each of those panels. We didn't really want to uplight the entire building architecturally. We wanted to spotlight. And so at night when those lights turn on, it just looks like a starry night, a constellation. And there may be a celestial park constellation on one of our exteriors. But yeah, like just kind of creating.
Interesting. So it seems like the lighting, what she said, there was some tiles have lights in them. But I don't think she said it was going to be shimmering. It was basically like it was going to make a constellation. So at night, the hotels may have a night sky, like some sort of constellation. Interesting. Okay.
That I don't know, that focus when you drive up at night and see the constellation is fun. We did.
So you'd have one on each hotel. Okay. That's okay. I feel like this hotel at night is going to look like these hotels at night, and even Epic Universe at night it seems like it's just going to be almost a completely different, park or hotel in that way, just the way it looks.
It actually, Universal is known for its show elements, our magic that we create in our attractions. And so we haven't ever put that into a hotel before. So that was something that we wanted to incorporate in one of these hotels. So there'll be some aerial projection that you'll get to see. Yeah.
Okay. One of the hotels will have aerial projections. I don't know what she's talking about. Maybe just the lobby? Interesting. Okay. I like this. Like, again, these are just value. I think they're technical value plus. So these aren't even like premier hotels or even moderates. So this level of thought and detail into like just your, I mean, it'd be a really easy thing to do, just make a value and just not put much thought into it. But I like the fact they've put this much thought in, ideas into it.
We'll look out for that.
Yeah.
No, it's really fun. I mean, we've seen it. We've played with it during the night and gone out and looked at it, and we haven't kind of unveiled that to the public yet. But when that happens, it'll be a second big, buzz in the market that this is what it looks like at night.
Yeah.
So they're waiting to reveal what it looks like at night. Okay. I mean, if any of you guys live around Epic Universe and you've seen this, feel free to let me know. I would be curious to see what that looks like.
And something I feel like I don't want to undersell by any means is the view out of the windows. Because
okay, we've seen this concept art before, and we knew this. This isn't new. You're supposed to look like port windows, basically.
we got to go in inside one of the rooms, and because of the shape of the window, it almost feels like you're on a spaceship looking out towards the rest of Florida, which I thought was really, really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. The rooms clearly have this futuristic feel to them as well. It's futuristic yet comfortable. Yeah, it's not. It would be really easy, or it would have been easy to make a mistake and make it too austere. But it's a really compelling, comfortable guest room, and the imagery in the guest room as well. Again, we've got that same the galaxy-inspired imagery that we've got outside, or that inspired the outside, is actually brought into the guest room as well, and really kind of pulls that together as well.
And interesting. I've heard rumors of perhaps there would be shooting star elements or different lighting things in the room. So it seems from what they're saying that could be, or at least probably is what it is, maybe, or something along those lines. Okay. That's basically all they had to share there. So there wasn't a ton of details there. A lot of that stuff was already known. I think the thing about the stars on the outside of the building is really interesting. Again, looking at the construction pictures, we knew something. I mean, they clearly had wires going, again, not to all of them, but to some of them. So it seems that perhaps it was hard to tell from a wording. Like, both hotels, I think, from what they were saying, will have a constellation on them. And then she said one of them would have some sort of projection thing on it as well. So I don't know, from what she was saying and from what he was saying about how it's going to look kind of wild at night, I'm very curious how this is all going to look. And again, these are just for value hotels, but there may have been some new concept art that he showed in the video there. I think it looked pretty similar to what we've seen before. So I don't really know if there was much else information. They really didn't go into many details, the food, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, showed the rooms. Again, these are really basic hotels. If you've never stayed in one of these, again, dockside and surfside that's over right now, these are value options that they recently built. They are, first off, we've stayed at those hotels a ton the past few years. They're nice rooms. They're roomy. I think those rooms are much bigger than the ones they have here over near Epic Universe, though, I will say. But they're clean. Like, the hotels are basic. They have, like, most of them have like Starbucks, your food, a bar, stuff like that. But they don't have like, full sit down restaurants. They also have pools and stuff like that. So they're nice hotels or resorts, however you want to call them. But they're not like, it's not like staying at a premier hotel. There's still, just your basic things, but the basic things are done well. And again, there's putting much thought into just a value level resort, but not much else was shared. So I think more or less, I like this idea of this, and it seems like they're going to be doing more of these. Now, I don't know if this is how they're going to plan on educating the public more. I feel like these podcasts are probably more for people that are already into it. I don't imagine this is really appealing to sit down and listen to a 20-minute episode about a hotel if you're not already into this stuff. But for me, I mean, obviously I love it. I like this idea of it, just more information about these things. I hope on the next episodes, if you watch this one, it's a little cheesy. It's obviously a very choreographed and staged podcast, but the Celestial Park one, they went into a lot more detail. This one, not as much, but again, I don't know how much detail really is about a hotel. So hopefully the ones that they continue to do will have a lot more interesting tidbits and things that we can take away from it. But that's going to be it for this video. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel, as we do lots of coverage here of Epic Universe, Universal Studios, Disney World, and pop culture. Let us know in the comments, what do you think about the Terra Luna and Stella Nova resorts, or the potential of staying there? And until next time, we will see you in the parks.